right. Hey guys, welcome to Kumo Gaming Talk. Today I'm with Andres and we're going to be talking about the worst games we've ever played. What do you got, Andres? What's the worst game you've ever played?
Uh, I have two games. The
Okay, you
first
have
one,
two.
I don't remember the game. It was a PS1 game that I was
Okay.
unplayable. I owe you the name of that game. But the
Okay.
one
We'll
I
figure it out, guys.
remember, yeah, the one I remember is Black Ops 4. I'm sorry, COD fans, but Black Ops 4, I didn't like it at all.
I
It
didn't like it
was
either.
essentially a game. It was essentially a game that I. Oh, sorry. It was
Oh,
essentially a game that I that I bought to play zombie with my friends. But the game, when it first released, it was all buggy. Some people got blue screens, which I don't know why you got a blue screen on a PS game. But yeah, it always crashed. The sound wasn't great, and eventually I quit the game altogether. And when they patched the bugs, I was no longer interested. So basically, I lost $60. So
yeah.
I didn't like that game at all.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you. I did play Black Ops 4 and I just didn't like it either. It just wasn't as good as it could have been. It
Yeah,
didn't,
yeah,
considering how good Black Ops 1 and 2 was, it was
yeah,
nowhere near as good as those. But I agree, actually, that the game was not good, and I think critically, it didn't do as well either. I think
yeah.
I think a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah, it was for the first, the first weeks that was all buggy and all that shit. It wasn't attractive to the fans,
Mm,
so it didn't sell well. And Call of Duty always keep putting games the year, so they start competing with each other. I don't know what was the game that released after Black Ops 4, but everybody moved from Black Ops 4 to that Call of Duty game. So they
yeah,
essentially competing with themselves, so they almost sync together the company
yeah,
with that game. But yeah,
I agree, and it's kind of funny that a shooting game was your worst game that you've played because it's also a shooting game, the worst that I've ever played,
what you
and
got?
that was Battlefield 2042. It
Oh, okay.
was same. It was literally horrendous. It was awful. I picked it up for PC and buggy, glitchy. It crashed. I would shoot at people and it wouldn't register. Uh, it had no scoreboard. It was
Oh, for
such
real?
for real. I'm not kidding.
How
It
do you
was.
know if you were winning or losing?
You know what you were doing. It was an awful game, and critically, it got bombed. Like people hated it, and they actually, I think, a month later, came out with a whole update about the game, and it was like literally, we're adding this, we're gonna add more terrain, we're gonna add more cover, we're gonna add this, and we're gonna add that. But same thing, like you said, it still has terrible reviews on Steam. Still not that positive, and the player base is so low now. Like there's no point, and it sucks because Battlefield was one of my favorite series of all time. I would play that with my friends like crazy. Like it was so much fun to build a little squad, and it was different from Call of Duty
Yeah,
because you could take your little squad and you would go try to capture this and do that. Right, tanks all of your homies
take a
in one.
yeah, take a car
And
or
yeah,
a helicopter.
and our helicopter, and it was so much fun. And the destruction was amazing because we would grab a tank, we would blow a wall, and then drive right through the
Yeah,
walls, and we would like it was a constant evolution of the match. But this
yeah. You
new
can put
one was
like C4s on the buildings and just
yeah on the
yeah
build blow up the
collapse
walls.
the yeah.
But on this new one, you couldn't do that. You couldn't blow up walls. You couldn't do the destruction wasn't there. I don't know if it's because a new development team came in or the dice themselves are not what they used to be. I don't know what it was, but it was definitely an awful game. And critically, it did horrible. Like the review scores. One of my
Yeah,
favorite reviewers, his name is Angry Joe. I think he gave it like
yeah.
a 4 or a 5. and
Okay.
that was his favorite game too. Series was Battlefield, and he ended up moving to Modern Warfare 2. When Modern Warfare 2 came out, same thing. I ended up switching to that one, and that one was
That
really
was,
really fun.
I think, the best game of Call of Duty
Of
ever. And
Call of
that
Duty,
Call of
I haven't
Duty
liked
Modern
a game
Warfare
like that.
2, yeah, it was so good. Modern Warfare 3
Yeah.
was awesome also. Yeah. But it's odd that when you have a game that is so bad, so buggy, so laggy with the servers and thing, the first thing they add up is more terrain, more weapons, more content. When the focus you need to have is fixing the game, fixing the performance,
Hmm.
to to fix the experience the players are having, not adding more content to make it more buggy. So I don't
Yeah.
know what's that about. Yeah,
Yeah, and I've noticed lately that a lot of games that have been coming out recently in the last few years have been coming out in like bad shape. We had
yeah,
Cyberpunk. You remember Cyberpunk? Cyberpunk came
yeah.
out,
It
and there
was
was
a
memes
disaster.
everywhere.
Yeah,
There were so
disaster.
many videos of walking through walls, cars exploding, just getting inside the car, and I don't know. I feel like these companies are like rushing development, and I don't know. It's just
Yeah, the latest one,
it.
for example, the Pokemon games, the Scarlet and
Oh,
Violet, it was
right.
with full of. I mean, I think they patched the majority of the bugs, but the game was buggy. You can watch all the memes, the videos. It was what the fat Pokemon. What do you mean Pokemon? If you imagine if that would have happened the cartridges era, the way that you cannot update your game, that's the
Mm-hmm.
game. Imagine if that happened with our time, it will be crazy.
But I think that's why back then it didn't happen as often because they knew that the game when it came out it had to be ready, it had to be
Yeah,
perfect, or it was gonna flop. There was no way of patching. There was a couple of games back in the day that released better versions of it, but it was not a thing. You put out what you put out, and that's it.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I don't know what's going on with these companies nowadays. They're just not putting the same effort into them. They're not. They're releasing games that are not ready. And I don't know. It's definitely made me not want to pre-order. Made me not want to buy games on day one. And before I used to be like, oh, I really want that game, and I would buy it day one, and then I would get burned out because then the game wasn't good or wasn't ready. So now I'm that person that waits a week or two, watches reviews, and then makes a decision if I want to pick it up. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's a wise decision, and it's curious that companies this big, like the Pokemon companies, that it's not about money. They have a lot of money. It's about, I
they're
don't
the biggest
know,
media company.
for
Did you know
real,
that? They're
for real.
bigger than Marvel. They're bigger
The
than
the
any.
media company.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my,
Pokemon in general, I think they were worth like 90 billion, I think, or something
oh
like
my
that.
God, that's
They were worth more than. There's like a chart, and it has like how much Pokemon is worth, and there's like Marvel, Star Wars, all these different medias, and Pokemon is like way bigger than all of them.
oh my God,
And
that's
they
incredible.
put crap like that out.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you
I mean
expect?
that for them that makes such a AAA games all years, it's unexcusable for me. And I think it's all about money. At the end of it's all about business. I know that, but it doesn't. It isn't fair for the fans that mainly are loyal fans of the franchise. And you put a game that is not perfect. So I think it's kind of disrespectful for the fans.
For the fans,
But
I agree.
yeah,
I'm trying to find that chart just to show.
yeah. Um, the game itself, I think it's well patched now. I haven't played it. Do you have you played it? Do you have the
No,
Violet or Scarlet?
The Scarlet. I mean, no, I didn't pick it up.
Okay.
Just cause. Look, oh, I found it. Look, it's it's. I'll put like a little screen on there, but it says how much it's
Yeah.
worth, and it says Pokemon is worth around 100 billion actually, Hello Kitty. It's bigger than Hello Kitty, Winnie the Pooh, Mickey Mouse, Star Wars, the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, Super Mario, Harry
That's
Potter. Like it's bigger than all of those, and that's what you put out.
damn the Marvel one.
Crazy.
It's really impressive, you know.
Yeah,
And
right.
yeah,
That shows you how.
so much money and such a buggy game. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's sad.
Another bad game that I played recently actually was for the Switch, but I think it was bad on all of the systems, and that was the GTA remakes of 1, 2, and 3, or
Oh,
remasters, I think they were.
okay.
They were buggy and sluggish and slow. Like I started playing San Andreas, and I got a glitch where like the guy's fingers were like alien fingers. They were like this long, and in the cutscenes, she was going like this, and I screenshot it on my Switch. I'll see if I can like upload it. But they're like walking around, and they have like alien
Big ass
fingers this
big.
long. Oh man! And I remember just like playing it and like was like, wow, this is awful.
Yeah,
And the frame rate was horrible. And I was like, I'm not gonna play it. And they never put out a patch. I don't think they did.
damn. That's
So
that's
I
not
lost
that's
60
not
bucks
okay.
there.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Mm-mm.
That's a lack of respect, for the customer
I
that
agree.
want to play that game. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it's business. If they want to sell, so that's the main goal. But I think you have to, if you want to sell, you have to provide the quality. So I don't know. I think it's a topic of
I agree.
discussion.
I agree with